Good morning, Jubilee Leadership. How is it going today? I am up early, although you guys are later, so I always forget that. But up early today, and I need to get moving to get to breakfast. But I wanted to do a recap for you guys of my farm day. And how it went. Yesterday was I really just enjoyed yesterday so much. So I'm agreeing, so I'm probably going to give you guys way too many details, but hopefully this is helpful for somebody. And yeah, so anyway, I'm going to get started. So to start off the day, I went to breakfast, which is at the hotel across the street. I'm in the Little America and there's the Grand America. And so those two hotels both have everything at the Grand America. But all the other hotels have their breakfast right in their hotels. So I have to walk across the street just because I'm right next to the big hotel. These two are connected, if that makes sense. So they had awesome breakfast, and I love that they take into consideration dietary stuff. So they have vegan stuff, they have gluten-free stuff, they have all kinds of stuff. One thing that you should know if you come to a Young Living event that serves food, they do not serve coffee. So they had hot tea. So that was hard for me. I ended up buying a coffee later. And I don't know why, probably something because they try and keep all the meals fairly healthy. They had turkey sausage and, instead of pork or whatever. And they don't serve coffee. So if you are getting ready to go to Silver Retreat, know that for your breakfast, you should stop in your hotel or wherever you can buy some coffee and get some coffee if you're a coffee lover like me. So after breakfast, we went on, they shuttled us out to the farm. It's an hour, maybe an hour and 20-minute ride. So it's a little ways out to the Mona farm. And in the bus, they passed around boxes of the Ninja Red pouches for each to have a pouch and boxes of the Wolfberry bars so we could each have a snack. So I thought that was just so cool and so generous that they're giving us stuff on the bus to the farm, and then also a map of the farm and a schedule of the farm day activities. So for me, it was really cool. On the way there, I got to sit by myself on the bus, which I'm an introvert and sometimes I just need a little downtime. So I was praising God just for that hour and 20 minutes to just be quiet. And I talked with a couple people that were sitting next to me, but when you sit next to somebody, you're going to have a conversation here because that's just, everyone's so friendly and it's so awesome. I feel like I'm starting to identify people oh, that's the lady from the elevator, and that's the lady from here, from breakfast, and that's the lady from, and I do remember some of their names, but not all of their names. So lots of conversations here, and they're always so great. So when we first got to the farm, I was with a couple friends that are part of the Wise House Oil team. So we walked around and they were going to take a group photo of all the silvers. So we only had about 30 minutes. So we walked around. It's such a beautiful day. It was in the mid 70s. And it was sunny, but then there was some clouds, so there was some shade. So if you've gone to farm during the convention in June or July, it is hot. So this was such a blessing for it to be just a nice day. And we went over to the general store. At convention, the line for that thing is crazy, and we actually got to just walk right in and go through. So the general store has some cool pictures and products, and it's set up really cool. But unfortunately today you couldn't buy anything in there because they had a big tent with all their stuff for sale in the tent. But we just got to kind of wander through it, and then outside of that on their deck they had a table set up with all kinds of oils that you could sample and smell. So that was kind of cool. Then it was time for the group picture at the stadium. So they have a stadium where they do horse shows and other cool stuff. And so we all went over to the stadium and we wore our purple shirts that they gave us. And on the way there, we walked through the barn, which was really cool to see all the big horses, and they're so beautiful. And then we went to get the picture taken. So we're all crowding into this huge stadium, and they're up on this big lift to take our picture, and they've got a drone doing videos, like a man operating a drone flying around doing videos, and they had us do the wave, so they kept it really fun. And they had different countries like cheer that were in the sections. There's people from all over the world here. It's so cool. So we got our group picture, which I'm curious to see how that turned out, or if you can even see people, because there was 2,200 of us or something. So on the way back walking back from the stadium to the farm, we stopped and we pet some more horses. They've got tons of animals here, and just really cool to sit there and pet horses. And there was one that was giving kisses, and a couple of my friends got pictures of the horse kissing them. So that was super cute. We headed over to the distillery. It was like a self-guided tour of the distillery, and you could do it 2 different times during the whole day. So we went over there, and they had piles of blue yarrow outside of the distillery. So we were laying in that and getting pictures taken in the blue yarrow. And then we went through the distillery, and I have a bunch of pictures in my story of that. But they were distilling goldenrod, which, if you've smelled goldenrod, it's not my favorite smelling oil. So it was very strong and potent of goldenrod in the distillery, kind of stinky, but really cool just to see. And I've seen the distillery before, but it was nice just to think about how it works. So they have these humongous pressure cookers, basically, and they stamp down all the plant material in there, and then they steam it, and all of the steam rises and goes through a tube and pours down in overhead and down into these little vats, which there's pictures of, and the steam carries the oil and water, so it's oil and what is it called? What is rose water called? I can't think of. What's the sandalwood stuff called that just came out with? Hydrosol? Yeah, it's the hydrosol. So the hydrosol is the water with plant property in it, and the oil rise up from this pressure cooker, goes through these tubes over, and then comes down, and then the water and the oil separate, so the oil sits on top. It's such a really cool process, and these things are humongous, and there's steam going in there, and it smelled like goldenrod. So just really cool to be able to see that process. And I think they have 4 huge ones. They're really, really big. So check out those pictures in my stories so you can see what that looks like. And I'm sure on the Seed to Seal page, they've got pictures or videos. There's probably videos on YouTube too of people who have done it. But okay, so then the other thing I noticed, there's stuff everywhere. The farm is so cool. There's flowers everywhere, and there's little different displays and stuff. So there's a little old town display, and there's this really cool wagon display. If you like history, I thought it was really cool. They had stagecoaches and wagons from different parts of history lined up, and it was just really cool to see. I've been watching Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman reruns on Amazon Prime, so I totally love checking out the wagons, because there's always wagons in that show, and I'm how did people ride around in these things, and the coaches and whatnot. So that was kind of cool. Then as we were walking around, we got to meet Jacob, which is Gary's oldest son, I believe, and he was just walking around, doing stuff, and we got a picture with him, and he was super humble and nice, and he was oh, you guys are my friends now, so he was really cool. After that, we had lunch, and lunch was super yummy. They had lavender lemonade and yummy salad and chicken and mango salsa, and it was just so good. And while we ate, and then a little while after we were eating, they had the corporate people talk to us in the big tent where we ate. And so Jared Turner talked first, and gosh, I just love the passion that these people have for this company, and just for integrity and different things like that. And he had a bunch of the corporate company heads, I guess, of different departments. So there was the head of global farms, the head of product, the head of IT, and all different. There was 7 of them up there, and they each just kind of talked to us really briefly about what they are doing to help us and to like make products better and to make our experience on the internet better and all these things that they are working on. And it's just very obvious that this company's focus is all about the members and the members' experience and the members getting products that help them and the members, it's all about the members. So it's just really cool to see. And they talked about Gary and how, like, he, his slogan of, like, I always make a product for a purpose, not a profit, and just, like, how true that was and how he really, like, there's so many products. Like, they were talking about how most companies look at Young Living and say you have 700 products. Like, that's just not wise. We need to cut back on these. You'll have more productivity. You'll make more money if you're not, like, so diversified. And Gary was always like, no, because even if like 3 people are ordering this product, if it's helping those people, we want to keep it. And Jared did say there are times when there are like products where like 2 are so similar that they need to merge them and make them into one. So it's not like they'll never cut a product, but that they make really every effort if somebody is being helped by it to keep it on the shelves, and that they are more concerned with that than like streamlining everything to make more money and make it the company better. Like they really care about us. And it's no joke. It's not just like something they say. It's something that like you can just tell the way they are, that it's for real. So then after all those people talked, Mary came up. And that was really cool. And she had a couple quotes. She told some really cute stories just about Gary and like the beginning of the farm and how he could see the vision for it. And, she was looking at this barren, desert kind of land and being like, okay, Gary, but that he just was a visionary and just could see things, that he was just ahead of his time with ideas and stuff. But a couple quotes that she said that I wrote down that I really loved was, she said, the farms are the foundation of Young Living. And she was just talking about how Gary was always on the farms and always like into the farms and helping on the farms and working on the farms and all of those things. But she just said like the farms are where it all happens, where it's the beginning of everything. And so those are the most important part of Young Living. And I just thought that was really cool. And then she said, she was talking about integrity. She said that Young Living was, and she talked about Gary's faith a little bit, didn't go into too many details, but she said that Young Living was built on godly principles. And she said of truth, trust, honesty, and integrity. And I love that. I love that that was like where they're starting from. She said, God was Gary's center, and that is where he was starting from. So the other quote that she said that I really liked, and she said, with Young Living, you don't have to remember what you said yesterday because you're not making it up like other companies. So just loved that. They really stand pretty firm on that. They believe what they say, and they are they're legit. They're the real deal. So anyway, and the other cool thing is that I noticed that the folks who work there's like so many people, you guys. I wish you could see how many people go into getting us the products that we have. All the farm hands, all the factory hands, all the the lab people. Like it's just insane how many people go into us getting our little bottles of oil. But the folks on the farm, they love working there. They like say it's like family. They're treated like family. And a lot of the people who are like the bigger heads, like some of them said they started on the farm, or they started here, or they started there. So kind of cool with that. And a girl I talked to on the bus had went to the factory and the corporate headquarters, and she was asking people there, like, so what's it like to work for Young Living? And she said the people in the factory love it. She said there was like people who said they've worked there for 20 years and they're treated so great. And I just thought, like that's so different than so many places. Like so many people hate their jobs, right? So just another cool thing about Young Living that, I got to kind of take in today. So then we went, and there's like different tents. There was a sales tent. We got 10% off products. And then there was a bargain tent. And then there was a tent that was selling like awesome drinks and different things like that. So my friend bought me a really nice thing. I think it was called a Mary Bomb. And it was Ninja Red, Nitro, and a Zing all in like this cute commemorative mug, and we all got a picture of us with the mug. So that's in my stories too. But she bought that for me, which was really sweet, and it tasted so good and was so refreshing. And then the other girls went to shop in the tents, and I looked in the bargain tent, and there was tons of stuff, but the lines were pretty crazy. And I was just like, I'm at the farm. I want to get in all the farm stuff. Because you can do the lines at convention. But the bargain tent, you guys, was really, really cool because they had a section where Mary had donated some of Gary's stuff. So some of his clothes, like a hat, some other cool things, and they were pretty cheap. Like the hat, I think my one friend, or the girl Jenna that I've met, I would call her my friend now, she got one of Gary's old hats, and I think she paid $15. But everything in the bargain tent was being donated to the foundation. And there was like, old bags from convention and iPad covers and just all kinds of stuff, like t-shirts from all different events and different things. So all the stuff and things were like $1, 5 for $1, really cheap. But the foundation raised they were giving all the profit from the bargain tent to the foundation, $85,000. That's how much they raised from people shopping in the bargain tent yesterday. That's so crazy. So I just love how they're always thinking of giving back. And in the product tent, we did get 10% off. I didn't buy anything because I didn't want to wait in the line. It was crazy long. So while they were shopping, I went over to the fields. And the greenhouses, there wasn't much in it because it's like end of season. So like when you come for a convention, the greenhouses are filled with all kinds of seedlings and stuff. There was a few, but not a lot. And then, so they have it set up in a few different ways. There's like a few sections of like little plots of plants so that you can just like sample them. I was like breaking off them and smelling them. Oh my gosh, the Melissa smells so good. I want Melissa so bad. So there's little plots that you can go around and just like see the plants and what it looks like. And then up the hill behind the greenhouses, there are bigger plots. And like there was a field, a small field, smaller, I would say, field of goldenrod, and it was just harvested. So that was, what was being distilled in the distillery. There's a few rows of lavender, and then there's a few rows of like Melissa, blue tansy, blue yarrow, and I mean they're bigger. Like if you look in my stories, you can see the pictures, but I don't think that those are all the fields, because across the street there's like acres and acres of lavender, and it wasn't in bloom, so it's just the little bushes. They're perennials, so they come back every year as far as I understand, because in my own limited gardening experience. But then in the back, so I walked all the way to the back, there was like a huge, like probably a few acres of goldenrod, and it was really cool because there was guys out there working with hoes. Like there was a group of men, and they're like working and weeding and whatever they're doing. I don't know, I'm not whatever, but it was really cool to see. So there's like little sample sections so that you can see the plants, but then there's acres and acres of things that are grown. And I know lavender is grown there, goldenrod is grown there. I think sage might be grown there. But you don't get to you get to see some of the fields across the street, and if you go to the back, but you might not necessarily feel like you get to walk through acres and acres of fields, but they give you the sampling so that you can see and smell and get all that. So it's really, really cool. So I did a little photo shoot out in the bigger lavender fields out there, and that was kind of fun. I had actually brought my little tripod because whenever you're here, people will take pictures for you. Everyone's taking pictures for everybody. But I always laugh with Liz Van Nice because I don't know what I do with my face, but whenever somebody takes a picture of me, I always make a double chin, or just my eyes are half closed or whatever. So I was like, I'm bringing my tripod and I'm going to go out there. I have a little remote for it, and I'm going to get some pictures. And so that was fun. I just did that, and it was nice to be out in the fields and just have fun with myself, doing some jumping pictures and some fun stuff. So, and yeah, so Liz Van Nice just said that I jumped 5 feet in my picture. It must have been the angle of the camera that makes it look like that, but it's awesome because I didn't jump that high. I'm not that talented. And I think Sunny Karen had said, oh, it must be the oils. It might have been the Ningxia Red, the Mary Bomb, just made me fly up, right? So after my photo shoot in the fields, I ended up bumping back into, they were out there too, back into the group of Wise House Oil ladies, which was really nice. And then we went to see the jousting, which I've been to convention twice. I have never had the energy to go to the jousting because it's just like so much at the farm to take in. But yesterday, I did. So it was really fun. They have this whole presentation. People are dressed up like lords and ladies and knights, and they have people throwing knives and sword fights and all kinds of fun stuff. And an announcer who looked like a gladiator or something, or not a gladiator, a Viking or something. And then they do jousting, and Jacob was one of the jousters, so that was kind of fun. Of course, he got more cheers than anyone else because he's Gary's son, so everyone was like, but a girl won, so there was a girl jouster, and she was the winner, so it was really fun. It was fun to watch. And during this time, we saw Mary, and we got a picture with Mary, and she was so sweet. And one of the girls, Corey, that I was with, like, I saw Mary, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's Mary. And she, like, ran to go get a picture. And she had said, she's like, that was, like, what I wanted. This whole trip was just a picture with Mary. And I was like, yay, praise the Lord, we got a picture with Mary for you. So that was really cool. And there was actually a concert that was happening, a country concert. Oh, I should say there was a tent with country music singers. And that was really, yeah, Mary is so sweet. She's so little too. Little powerful lady, or powerful in a good way. Sorry, don't mean like powerful, like she's super nice, and humble. And there was a tent with country music playing, which was really fun. They played a little Johnny Cash, which I enjoyed when I was over there. But there was going to be a concert that night, and there was a rodeo that night. And then there was also a draft horse show. Like, all that was going on at the farm. So you could go and check that out. I did not want to stay for the rodeo or the concert because I was just wiped out and ready to get back to my hotel. So those girls stayed a little longer, and I just went on and got on the bus. The buses were leaving from like 2-hour window to go get on the bus. So it was like the end of the 2-hour window. And I went on the bus, and I ended up sitting next to this girl from Indonesia, and she was so sweet. And we were talking about just like business and how things were different over there. And apparently, like, they love to learn over there. They'll like go through classes of like 4 hours, and they'll sit there and like learn. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. Like, that their team and I think the market's only been open like 3 years there or something, she said. But we talked for a while, and this is for my believing sisters. It was really cool because a billboard went by when I was talking to her that said like, the only way is Jesus Christ or something like that. And I totally felt like the Spirit be like, you need to share the gospel with this girl. And I was like, oh Lord, like, how's that gonna happen? And then we were just talking, and like the biblical oil kit came up, and then she like just said something that was like an open door for me to start sharing, and I got to share about the gospel with her. And turns out she's got a friend who's a Christian who she's been asking a lot of questions to, and so we had a good like 30-minute conversation about God and scripture and all different kinds of stuff. And I got to give her a little Bible tract that I had brought with, or Christian track, I think that's what they're called. I don't know. Whatever. So that was like super amazing because I just felt like God was like, put me on that seat next to her, and I could have stayed with the other girls, but I felt like I should go home. God knows what he's doing. So anyway, then I got home and I took an awesome bath with Epsom salts, and I ordered room service. They even had gluten-free bread. Praise the Lord. I had room service, and you guys, I fell asleep at 8 o'clock. So old lady vibes over here. I was wiped out, but I slept for a long time, and that was really good. So that was my farm day experience. It was really beautiful, very nice. And today is all about training. So like business training stuff. So I need to go get my butt to breakfast so I can get my food in and then get on the shuttle because we're going back to the Mountain Expo place for our day of business training. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this recap, and I can't wait till all of you are at Silver Retreat that haven't gotten to go yet. It's going to be so fun to cheer you on. Yes, Liz, I am definitely an old cat lady in training. Can't wait. to have all those kitties in the mountain. Sleep early, take lots of naps. All right, bye guys, love you.